Good morning. It is day 131, Sunday, August 12th. Just got dropped off here at the trailhead on Route 112, about 5 miles west of the Notch Hostel. I was given a ride by Trail Angel Ginger. She gave Wildlife and myself a ride here. Wildlife is heading south and I'm going north. I get to go up this another big mountain today. Kinsman Ridge Trail, White Mountain. This is it. Yesterday I only did 5.8 miles, so I got a good rest. Rode a bicycle into town, so that's about 5-6 miles. Stuffed myself with food, and I bought a lot of food, so I'm pretty heavy right now. Hopefully I don't have any trouble. It's drizzling. We're gonna be walking in a cloud, so I'll get wet today. Yes, it's kind of cool. I hit the 1,800 mile mark yesterday, so 400 more. It's gonna be rough, but hopefully I can make it up there. My pack seems a little tight today. Might be all that food I ate. I was trying to upload the video, but there wasn't enough iCloud storage space, so I had to delete some things. Of course, I took some things off that I needed for the video, so I had to recover them, and I think I've done that, but there wasn't enough time to upload day 130, so we'll get that whenever. All right, box turtle out. I have been looking forward to heading into the whites of New Hampshire for a long time now. Standing down there at the trailhead reminded me of how I used to feel before my races, and particularly the Blade 10K. The Blade is the newspaper in Toledo, Ohio, and back in their heyday, they had a 10-kilometer race which started near and ended at their building. And you wanted to do well in that race because your name in the age group you were in with your time was printed for the whole world to see. So you wanted to have a good race that day. And it was always like that. Pre-race anxiety and sleepless night before, and but always I remember staying at the starting line there. And I just wanted to shout out, "Shoot the gun!" They had a starter's pistol, because we're all standing there and our hearts are jumping out of our throat and we're ready to go like racehorses. So that's kind of how I feel now. Let's get this going. See what I can do. Also, this portion of the trail reminds me of the last 10K of a marathon. For me, the marathon was divided into 2 parts. You wanted to get out in the first 20 miles in a respectable time, and then bring it home for that last 10K, whatever you had left. And that's where I feel I'm at now. The last 10K. It's when you're tired, but you're trying to hold on to that effort, or maybe not that pace, but that effort. I won't be holding on to that pace because it's supposed to be tougher than what we did before, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, heading north. I compare these White Mountain hills to the dreaded hills of Newton in the Boston Marathon. The Newton hills are located between 17 and 21 miles of the Boston Marathon. And about that time you're starting to feel it. And that's when they throw in those 4 hills. And the last one, about a half-mile climb, and it's called Heartbreak Hill because a lot of people were affected by it, still are. And for me, I ran it my first time when I was 23, and I was worried about those hills. So I trained on that big hill at Bowling Green State University, and I trained really well, but I didn't race between my qualifying time at the Glass City Marathon till the Boston Marathon in 1979. So I wasn't sure how I was going to do, so I was pretty conservative. And as it turned out, I had too much left at the end, and I finished a minute over my qualifying time, and so I was kind of disappointed. Had too much left. So when I ran it again in '96, I was 40 years old, and at that point I was hoping to duplicate my time that I had run when I was 23, but that didn't happen. I still did pretty well, but I kind of hit the wall a little bit at the end, which means you run out of gas a little bit, and you might slow down, and you might walk through the water stops. So those two efforts were completely different, and well, now I'm 62, so I can feel it. Hopefully I don't hit the wall on these mountains. Hopefully I'm conserving myself like I did the first time around when I was 23. I'm not racing anymore. My racing days are over. I stopped racing last time when I was 50, but I do want to finish. My left knee I can feel just a little bit, so that'll be my gauge. Pretty slippery up here today. We'll see how it goes. Fox turtle out. Well, since we're on the subject of running marathons, you know, hate is such a strong word, but I remember after that Boston Marathon where I wasn't happy with my time, I came back to the Glass City Marathon and ran, at that time was my best time. I ran a 2:46 and I got 19th place, which should have gotten my name in the Blade, the newspaper, because they always had just a little blurb on it. They would have the winner and the top 25 times. So I thought I was in finally made the club. But 1979 in Toledo, Ohio, at the Inverness Club was the U.S. Open, and Hale Irwin won it. I don't hate him anymore, but at that time I hated Hale Irwin because they needed more room to print things like what his favorite color was and what he had for breakfast that day. Hale Irwin won the tournament, and there was pages and pages of coverage for the U.S. Open. I thought I worked harder than he did that day, but they only put in the top 15 times that year. So I really don't hate Hale Irwin anymore, but I had a strong dislike for him at that time. He's probably a nice guy. The next year, 1980, I ran a little faster. I ran a 2:42, but unfortunately, there was some pretty tough competition that day. And I only got 45th place. So, did not get my name in the blade that year either for that. I'm over it though. I'm not bitter. Maybe the blade should do a follow-up story on Hale Irwin. You know, find out what his hobbies are and see if he's ruined anyone else's life. All right, I'll let it go. I'm done with it. It's over. This is another episode of Conversations with Myself. Why are you walking up this mountain in the rain? Well, what do you think? I think you're a moron. Well, that may be true, but there's a lot more to it than that. Not everybody gets to do this. This will be something I'll be able to tell my grandkids about someday. And so you should be doing it for yourself and for the people who can't do it. Why are you doing it? You talked me into it. Come on, there's got to be more reasons than that. It's personal. All right, what is it? It's because I'm a moron too. Just stopped for lunch at Elijah Brook Shelter, and then going up this mountain there's 3 waterfalls. This is the first one. The second falls wasn't that impressive. Here's the third one. This is Kinsman Pond. I walked 11.5 miles to get to this place. Went over a mountain or two. Pretty rocky, slippery because it rained last night and drizzled today. Mr. Zip caught up with me today. I met him a week or so ago, and he's my age, and we're planning on going to the Whites together. I'm going to do something that I haven't done in a long time, and that's stay inside a shelter. It's not going to rain tonight, but I'm not going to pitch my tent tonight. There's 2 levels to this nice shelter, and I'm going to stay in the bottom of it. And I'll show you around. Look it up there. It was pretty foggy today. We'd get up at the top of the mountains and we couldn't see anything, but there's some blue sky out there. So if you got up there now, you could see peaks all around. Maybe tomorrow. It's not supposed to rain tomorrow. Well, it is. I think it's going to start raining about around lunchtime. 30, 40, 50% chance. But that's subject to change. There's a bear box on the other side. There's a privy. You have to pay to stay at these in New Hampshire. I think it's $10 the first time and $5 after that. There's a caretaker here. She lives in a tent up front there, a nice big tent, and she said she works 10 days and gets 2 days off. So here's the shelter. There's Mr. Zip and Woody from Cleveland, Ohio. Small world. Medina, Ohio. Where my Mrs. Box Turtle was going to go today. I'm going to stay under there. Just like being in a treehouse. There's the bear box. Alright. Maybe we'll see some moose. Box Turtle out.